Hello to my fellow CHIJ classmates. Best wishes and blessings on our 60th birthday bash. Today, I would like to share a personal testimony and the reason for this video. In 1996, I started to be unable to sleep and feel pressure continuously in my forehead. Doctors checked and denied it was anything physical, that it was all in my head. This spiraled me into selling my restaurant and coming back to Singapore to be cared for by good friends and family. And after 2 months of care, I was able to go back to the States and subsequently getting my degree in information systems and eventually as a certified security professional. I worked and traveled for Sony, Hewlett-Packard, and the federal government. All this time, I ignored the continuous pressure in my head. And in 2015, almost 20 years later, doctors discovered tumors in my central nervous system. This explained the pressure I felt. The tumors were benign, but a couple were large enough to potentially cause paralysis. Recently, on June the 11th, 2019, after being monitored by the Mayo for 4 years, 3 or more tumors were removed in my brain. During this period, I discovered that the Franciscan nuns were responsible for initiating the founding of the Mayo Clinic. I did more research and was amazed at what nuns did throughout history. Closer to home, I recalled my own experience at the Convent of the Holy Infant Jesus. The organizing committee of this birthday bash granted me the opportunity to pay a personal tribute to the CHIJ nuns, their faith and dedication to God. And here is my personal testimony. And today I would like to pay a personal tribute to Mother Damien, Sister Elizabeth, and all the nuns at CHIJ who contributed in our lives. And the following is my grateful testimony. In and at around 1960, my father, Thomas Currier, was convicted of embezzlement at Robinson's department store, where he was general manager. The courts in Singapore deported him back to the US, but before he left, he beat my mother, who ended up in the hospital. He then proceeded to take me to CHIJ to be cared for by the nuns. I was told by the sisters and my family that I was an inconsolable baby during this traumatic period. So Mother Damien and Sister Elizabeth decided to look after me themselves in their own quarters on top of the Caldwell house. I subsequently lived at the CHIJ orphanage till I was 8 years old. I continued to go to school at CHIJ till I graduated secondary school. This meant that my life was touched and guided by these nuns from the age of 1 to 17. 16 years at CHIJ, I remember these moments. Sister Joseph and Sister Maria were our main caregivers, and they were cheerful, patient, and loved all of us at the orphanage. And it was amazing, now that I think about it, how they managed with so many children. I recall Sister Elizabeth and Mother Damien also visiting me in the orphanage. I recalled the approving nods of nuns when they watched Annie Ng, Maria Lee, and myself in the Cinderella play at the orphanage. I recall Sister Elizabeth caring for me in the infirmary when I had the measles at 6. Mother Damon helping my mother and guiding her whenever my mother visited her in the Caldwell office at CHIJ. Sister Elizabeth always kept candy in her pocket and made sure to share with me whenever she saw me. I always felt loved by Sister Elizabeth. Mother Damon paying a visit to our Collin flat when she was concerned about the cane welts she saw on me in school after I had gone home to live at 8. Mother Damon communicating with my father about my progress at the convent and ensured to make him financially responsible for us, which he did. On a monthly basis, he'd send my mother money till he passed at 55. Both Mother and Sister Elizabeth continued to check on me in secondary school, and most of the pictures you see here are taken by either Sister Elizabeth or Mother Damon. Mostly females, but sometimes male babies were dropped off at the small gate of Hope, usually at night. If they were males, they would be cared for till they were ready for Boys Town. The orphanage also took children who were sick or disabled and of all nationalities or religion. I recalled a disabled baby of Indian descent cared for, but eventually died, and her parents attending the funeral at the orphanage. I recalled 2 orphanages, one for the 6 and under, and the other for the 7 to 12-year-olds. 4 large bedrooms for the 6 and under, infants, babies, toddlers, and 3 to 6. There was a community bath, dining hall, inside and outside playground near the tuck shop. There was also another orphanage on top of the Chinese school that was near our kindergarten for the older orphan girls 7 to 21. These older girls would sometimes come over to the younger orphanage to help with the babies when they weren't in school. I recalled the nuns asking for volunteers, never forcing us. There was always a nun with each group of children, even at night. I recalled the nutritious food was basically the same every day. Sometimes we would receive special donations like frozen iced milk. The older children were expected to help the younger ones, like helping them with restroom activities. In the evening, we played in the swing area of the kindergarten and were in bed by 7:30ish. In the mornings, the nuns went to early morning mass around 4 or 5 o'clock to start their day. The 7 to 21-year orphanage, the girls were expected to attend the 4 to 5 a.m. mass too, with the nuns at the CHIJ chapel. They would then get changed, eat breakfast, and go to school. We've all witnessed the heroic work of nuns in clinics, orphanages like CHIJ and soup kitchens. And many of these Christian women had started hospitals like the renowned Mayo Clinic, and they have worked as educators and humanitarian workers like at CHIJ, and also in many troubled spots throughout the world, and often under very dangerous warlike conditions. Even though I shared my personal experience, by recalling my childhood at CHIJ, one must imagine the magnitude of work performed by these nuns at CHIJ. Not only did they take in orphans, lots of unwanted girls, but they also established, taught, and ran 2 girls' schools, English and Chinese, from kindergarten to primary, secondary, and pre-university. And these nuns also helped establish other convents in Singapore and Malaysia. Nuns work quietly behind the scenes. They are humble, and nuns do not seek worldly glory. These Christ-convicted nuns all over the world personified Christ and overcame obstacles to perform compassionate work. They provided the opportunities to all races, and we CHIJ girls, from the early 1900s to the present, received and reaped the benefits of their hard work and dedication to Christ. If you think about it, in the olden days, girls weren't valued fairly, but the nuns valued us because Christ valued us. Regretfully, I have only visited once with Sisters Elizabeth and Damon after I went back to the States. Worldly life took over, but the good news is, because of them, I did thrive in this physical world. With a wonderful husband, 4 great, wonderful children, 6 cute grandchildren, and because of my CHIJ education, I also acquired a successful worldly career. Needless to say, I am more than grateful to the CHIJ sisters for essentially saving me and my mother and for their selfless care for me. The care and education provided to us girls was and is the greatest in Singapore, bar none. Because of my personal trials, I have learned that the legacy one leaves should and needs to start with the spiritual. So, more importantly, the sisters left a spiritual legacy of compassion, servitude, love, forgiveness, commitment, prayer, gentleness, patience, self control, and humbleness. From the Bible, I know that even though the world doesn't always recognize the sisters' Christian emulation of Christ's character, God has. In Isaiah 55, 8 to 9, it says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." As a consequence, the sisters' heavenly glory will be forever, and the legacy of CHIJ's spirit will live on in us. Enjoy, girls, and have a great 60th birthday bash. Thank you.